George Washington was not a brilliant strategist, as you remember from Fort Necessity in the French and American War, but he was a great judge of men. Benjamin Talmadge. After the defeat of the Americans in New York City, Washington needed good intelligence. Benjamin Talmadge served as a major for the 2nd Continental Light Dragoons. He later became lieutenant. He showed excellent leadership in the field and incredible resourcefulness. Benjamin Talmadge. The death of Talmadge's friend Nathaniel Hale, who was an American spy, had a profound effect on him. He began to plot and study a way to create a spy ring. The ring would be successful, and the British would never crack it. It would become known as the Culper Spy Ring. British forces occupied New York in August 1776. New York City would remain a British stronghold and a major naval base for the duration of the Revolutionary War. British movements and other plans were critical to General George Washington, commander of the Continental Army. The Culper Spy Ring was organized by Major Benjamin Talmadge under orders from George Washington in the summer of 1778 during the British occupation of New York City at the height of the American Revolutionary War. Benjamin Talmadge established a small group of trustworthy men and women from his hometown of Secaucus, Long Island. Talmadge's homegrown network would become the most effective of any intelligence-gathering operation on either side during the American Revolution. Two primary members of the Culper Spy Ring was Abraham Woodhull and Robert Townsend. Robert Townsend's aliases were Robert Culper, Jr. Abraham Woodhull's aliases are Robert Culper, Sr. Benjamin Talmadge's alias was John Bolton. The Culper Spy Ring. Abraham Woodhull. He was the son of a prominent judge. He supported the colonial independence movement. Benjamin Talmadge was his childhood friend. He traveled regularly from Secaucus to Manhattan, ostensibly to visit his sister. Robert Townsend. He was a merchant and he conducted business in Manhattan. He gathered intelligence about British military plans. After learning that the British suspected him, he engaged Townsend to spy for him. Townsend sent information by courier to Woodhull's farm in Secaucus. After collecting a message, Woodhull waited for signals from his neighbor and fellow conspirator, Anna Strong. Her role in the ring was to relay signals to a courier who ran a whaleboat across Long Island Sound on smuggling and military missions. Anna Strong did this by hanging a black petticoat on her clothesline at Strong Point in Secaucus. It was easily visible from a boat in the Sound and also by Woodhull and his nearby farm. She would hang a black petticoat on the clothesline to indicate that Brewster was in town and available to ferry messages. She would add a number of handkerchiefs for one of 6 coves where the courier would bring his boat and Woodhull would meet him. Historians say that the clothesline signal is unverifiable, but it is known that the British suspected a woman at Secaucus who fit Anna's profile. Caleb Brewster commanded a fleet of whaleboats. He delivered secret dispatches from George Washington's spies in New York City. He provided intelligence on the strength, movement, and positions of the British Army. He destroyed the British stores. He harassed and captured enemy boats in Long Island Sound. And here's a picture of him. Now, there was an Agent 355. It was a code name of a female spy during the American Revolution. Her real identity is not known. Decrypted from the system, the Culper Spy Ring used to mean lady. She died after 1780. Agent 355. It was believed she was a member of a prominent Loyalist family in New York City. She had easy access to British society and British officers. It was suspected she was a friend of John Andre, a British spy who had a weakness for women. When Andre went south, Washington believed that the ring was compromised. However, Andre came back and Washington received the biggest scoop of the war. An American general was in compact with the enemy and was about to betray the American cause. It is suspected that this agent passed along the critical information that exposed the treason of Benedict Arnold and led to the arrest of Major John Andre. When the trap closed on Andre, it triggered a roundup of suspects in the British-occupied territory. It was believed a pregnant Agent 355 was arrested and questioned, and that she refused to reveal any information on her activities or the father of her child. It is believed that Agent 355 was held aboard the notorious prison ship HMS New Jersey in New York Harbor. Conditions on the prison ships were so horrific that life expectancy was only a few months. She later gave birth to a boy but allegedly died aboard the ship. The information about the lady was in a news article in the 1940s. Historians cannot verify if she was pregnant or if she was on the HMS Jersey. They could not find any mention of an Agent 355 after 1780, and it is assumed that she died or was captured. Approximately 11,000 patriotic people died on British prison ships. It is far greater than the number believed to have been killed in combat in the American Revolutionary War, which is 6,800. Conditions aboard these ships were horrible. Food that was provided was often spoiled or raw. The cleaner water was held up on deck. Only one person could access it at a time. The rest of the water was held in storage below decks and was almost undrinkable. Every morning the prisoners were brought above decks, while the holds were washed out. Then at sunset they were forced to return below decks, where there was very little fresh air and no access to water.